Listen, if you aren't new to this channel, you'll know this isn't anything that I haven't spoken about before. But I feel like with the release of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 3, a lot of this stuff needs to be relitigated now that it's put into a different light. Because with the Shark Sorcerer and Man-Eating Tiger making as large of waves as they did in the community, I think plenty of things are apparent that have been spoken about by plenty of other creators in this community. And I'm truly interested to see where it all goes because it's a bubble that is genuinely just waiting to pop. If you have been anywhere on the internet lately in regards to Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, a lot of people are not happy with the release of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 3. And not for nothing, they were already talking crap about it before the chapter actually officially released. By Wednesday night, early morning Thursday, people were already writing off the series as one of the worst things that they have ever read, saying that this is a filler chapter that Akutami is just wasting his time with, and there are plenty of more important things to the plot that he is just brushing aside, and they feel like this is not only a repeat of the same mistakes he was making in Jujutsu Kaisen, it's also just more proof that this is another Boruto in the making. And not only do I disagree completely with all of those statements, I think it's very clear that a lot of this Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo hate is literally just spillover from people being upset about the original ending of the mainline series. To be completely honest with you, I think we needed a little bit more time away from Jujutsu Kaisen as a series before we had a spin-off or sequel announced. The wound of Gojo's death is still very fresh in the minds for a lot of people, as well as the bad taste that the ending left in a lot of different fans' mouths. And although they find themselves unable to not engage with anything Jujutsu Kaisen despite the sheer hatred they claim to have for it, they are prescribing issues with the original series that haven't yet reared their head in the spin-off. I mean, not for nothing, it is very clear that this is only chapter 3. If this series didn't have Jujutsu Kaisen attached to it, no one would be coming as crazy as they are this early into the game. Why is this happening? Because everyone had way too high of expectations, in my opinion. Despite Akutami going out of his way to try and lower everyone's expectations. Although there's some people you are never going to be able to convince no matter how directly you try and explain it to them. Akutami, as a person, is very honest. He's very transparent. But on a surface level, this generally just ends up shooting him in the foot. Because even though his author comment directly sheds light on not wanting to meddle with the mainline series continuity, he also directly calls this a spin-off of a new era that he most likely wants to be its own thing entirely. And if Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo is its own thing entirely, merely just taking place in the same universe, it's insane to me that people are expecting so much from it so early. As a writer, people have always been obsessed with Akutami's creations, but not where Akutami takes those creations to. You can claim that it's because we lost trust in Gege due to the main series plot holes or the half-assed characters and assassinations that were done to character lines by the end of mainline Jujutsu Kaisen. Although, to be completely honest with you, for anyone that wasn't really reading the series through leaks and has gone through the mainline ending again, despite characters like Kenjaku maybe getting a lackluster ending and a lot of the lore of the Heian era, Yuji's parents, Tengen, and all of that stuff with the merger being lost with him, as well as the military stuff. Other than that, you can honestly say most other characters got a pretty good ending and satisfying payoff. I think with the return of the anime as well as Modulo's ongoing run, we will slowly begin to see the turn of the tides of the fandom, but it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Because what's gonna happen is the people that are whinging, complaining, and crying right now are going to just stop reading the series, which is completely fine. Most of these people, because again, they do like Jujutsu Kaisen, they're just not happy with where it went, will return if Modulo does begin to pick up some steam and have some good moments in it. Even if we only get 3 volumes or so, there's still plenty of time left for there to be a lot of fun had with this series. It's just most of these people do not have the attention span to last reading the weekly series that long until it gets to that point. And the main reason I feel that, even if you want to say the story with the Shark Man and the Man-Eating Tiger isn't what you would have expected from Jujutsu Kaisen, it is a kind of filler side story that shows what sorcerers would be doing in their normal everyday life that isn't as high stakes as the Culling Game, Shibuya incident, or dealing with disaster level curses. Sometimes sorcerers are getting missions to deal with grade 3, grade 4, or maybe not even curses, especially in this day and age when things are weaker. At the same time, I really do understand a complaint when it comes down to this, because it's not that people didn't want filler side stories in JJK. That's what people wanted for a long time. I think it has a lot to do with it's not the characters that they wanted these filler side stories with. Also, at the same time, if you ask me, these are the same people that will complain that JJK was just fights with no good characters. Yet when Akutami does try to take things slow and build up his characters, the same people are turning around and complaining that this is the worst shit they've ever read. At least, of course, until the first major hype moment or fight happens and everybody sees it on Twitter. And it's always funny to me because a lot of people don't even realize the pace that Akutami is taking this story at. This whole entire short story that we got with Sharkman and Man-Eating Tiger could have been a 3 to 4 chapter mini arc. Yet Akutami is still able to include his fast-paced storytelling while at the same time prioritizing character dialogue and interaction to call back to later on in the story. The main thing that I want to say by the end of all of this, we need to stop looking at this quote-unquote 3-volume time limit as a countdown or deadline that Akutami needs to abide by. I've seen a lot of people get upset because they think larger scales of the story are getting pushed aside for what they claim is filler content, when in actuality there is still plenty of time for Akutami to explore all of the ideas that you want to. One thing to remember is with 2 people working on the series, Akutami, who is most famous in my opinion for his writing, is now able to focus mostly on mapping his story out, storyboarding it, and making sure every chapter is as fully fleshed out as it needs to be. And if that is the case, it wouldn't surprise me if he knew exactly what he was doing with how much time he has to tell his story. Only time will tell. When we're at chapter 8 or 10, then maybe let's start throwing tomatoes. I will continue covering the series because separating it from the mainline series, not expecting it to cover all of the answers to the questions I may have had, and just enjoying a new story with new characters in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe has been a very fun and thrilling thing to see, in my opinion. It's cool to be back with all of you guys. I love talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. It was the beginning to everything about my channel, and I just hope that we can re-inspire some light in this community because God, it has been depressing as of late. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you also feel this heavy darkness that's been in the fandom and how it is slowly kind of even trying to grip its way into Modulo? Or are you seeing the light starting to peer through the clouds as all of this new JJK content starts to come our way, and it will reinvigorate the crowd and the love for this series that we all had to begin with? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget that you can get more daily content by subscribing to this channel as well as my second channel that has all of the weekly manga content on it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.